Here we have a problem on integral, that is we have to find this indefinite integral. Okay, let me start working on this integral 1 over here in denominator we have the product of two square roots. Whenever we multiply two square roots, what we can do is we can take square root in common and we can multiply the stuff inside the square root. Then I'm getting x times 1 negative x times dx. Then we have integral 1 over square root of we can distribute this x to this 1 and negative x, and I'm getting x negative x square times dx. Okay, now let me consider the stuff we have inside the square root over here, that is x negative x square. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this expression x negative x square in terms of the square of a binomial. So for that, this square term must be having the sign positive, but here it's negative. Okay, to make this x square as positive, I factor negative sign out. When I factor negative sign out, this positive x will become negative x, and this negative x square will become positive x square. Then we have negative of, we can write the positive term first, that is x square negative x. Okay, now to write the expression over here in terms of the square of a binomial, let me consider the identity in algebra, that is a square negative 2ab positive b square equals to a negative b the whole square. Whenever we have a trinomial in this form, a square negative 2ab positive b square, it can be written as a square of a binomial, that is a negative b the whole square. Okay, now to write this expression in terms of the square of a binomial, I must be getting a trinomial over here in this form. Okay, now let me do it. That is negative of x square. Okay, so comparing this and this, what I have is I have x at the place of a, and next I must have negative 2ab. Already we have negative sign is there 2 times. Instead of a, we have x over here. We can write x. Okay, at the place of b, we have to write some value over here, so that when I simplify this one, it must be equal to x. So what number should I write over here so that this is equal to just x? So clearly it's 1 half. So that when I multiply 2x and 1 half, it will be equal to x. Now, if I simplify the expression over here, it is equal to the original expression what we got over here. That is, here we have x square, here we have x square. So when I simplify 2 times x times 1 half, I'm getting x. Okay, now I got this structure, that is a square negative 2ab. At the place of b, what do we have? We have 1 half. So when I consider the trinomial over here, I need b square, so that I can write the trinomial over here as the square of a binomial a negative b the whole square. So for b square, what I have to do is I have to add 1 half for the whole square over here. So because at the place of b, we have 1 half. So to get b square, I'm adding 1 half the whole square. But now, is it equal to the original expression? No, it is not, because only the first 2 terms is equal to the original expression. Additionally, we have 1 of the whole square. Since we need b square, I have added this. Okay, to adjust that, what I have done is I have to subtract 1 of the whole square. Let me do it. Okay, now if I simplify this one, it is equal to the original stuff, because here we have negative, here we have negative x square, here we have x square, and 2 times x times 1 of is equal to just x. Okay, here this is 0 pair, because positive 1 of whole square, negative 1 of whole square. Okay, now negative, let me consider the trinomial over here. It is exactly in this form, a square negative 2ab positive b square. At the place of a, we have x. At the place of b, we have 1 half. So we can write it as a negative b the whole square. That means x negative 1 half the whole square. I have written the square of the binomial over here for this trinomial, and here we have negative sign. We can take the negative sign as it is. When I square this 1 half, it will be 1/4. Okay, let me write over here. Now, what we can do is we can distribute this negative sign to this term and this term. When I do so, I'm getting negative of x negative 1 half the whole square, and negative times negative will become positive 1/4. We can write the positive term at first. That is, we can write this 1/4 at first, then negative x negative 1 half the whole square. Okay, now the expression we have inside the square root over here has been written as 1/4 negative x negative 1 over 2 the whole square. Okay, now let me continue the integration over here. Integral 1 over square root of we can write this expression instead of this x negative x square, and even for this 1/4, what we can write is 1 over 2 the whole square, because 1 over 2 the whole square equals to 1/4 negative x negative 1 over 2 the whole square times dx. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the integration process with u substitution. Why should we go with the u substitution? Because in integration, there is a formula that is integral 1 over square root of a square negative x square dx equals to sine inverse of, arc sine x over a positive c. So this is a formula we have to get integration of a function which is in the form of 1 over square root of a square negative x square. Okay, here in our problem, the function we have over here is almost in this form. So instead of a, we have 1 over 2, the constant. But here at the place of x, we have x negative 1 over 2. Here a single variable is squared, so that you will be able to use this formula I have explained over here. But instead of a single variable, we have an expression over here that is x negative 1 half. So we have to get a single variable over here at the place of x negative 1 half. So for that we have to go with u substitution. That is, we have to substitute a new variable u for this x negative 1 half. Okay, now let me continue with u substitution. That is, let u equals to x negative 1 half. Okay, now I have substituted a new variable u for this expression. Since I have substituted a new variable u, we have to get this complete integration in terms of the new variable u. When I get the complete integration in terms of the new variable u, at the place of dx, I must have du. If I want to get du at the place of dx, what should I do with this u? I have to find derivative. Since we have the original integration with respect to the variable x, I have to find derivative on both sides of this equation with respect to x. Okay, when I find derivative of this u with respect to x, I'm getting du over dx. And here when I find derivative of this x with respect to x, it will be 1. And this derivative of this negative 1 half will be 0. Now in this part, when I multiply both sides by dx, I'm getting du equals to dx. Okay, now let me continue with the integration we have over here. That is integral 1 over square root of 1 half the whole square negative. For this expression, we can substitute u, that is u square. Then for dx, we can substitute du. Okay, here what I can do is I can use the formula over here, because now this particular part is exactly in this form. Okay, now arc sine, let me write over here, arc sine. And so here instead of x, we have u over, for a, we have 1 of positive c. Okay, now arc sine, let me write over here. So this u, numerator u, can be written as it is, and we can change this division as multiplication. And we have to get reciprocal for this 1 over 2, which is 2 over 1 positive c. Okay, now let me erase the stuff over here and continue the process. Okay, let me continue. Arc sine. Okay, here when I multiply this u and 2, it's 2u divided by 1. So we can ignore the denominator 1 positive c. Arc sine, here we have u. U is a variable taken by us. It has to be replaced by the original stuff, that is x negative 1 over 2. Let me do it 2 times. I'm going to plug in this original stuff x negative 1 over 2 for u. Actually, we have done this u substitution to make the integration process easier. Now we have completed evaluating the integral. So now we have the u, the variable u can be replaced by the original stuff x negative 1 half. Let me plug in x negative 1 half positive c. Then I'm getting arc sine. Here we can distribute this 2 to this x and negative 1 half. When I do so, I'm getting 2 times x is 2x. And I'm taking this negative sign as it is. 2 times 1 half will be just 1 positive c. So this is the result of the given indefinite integral.